A neo-noir is an evolution of the noir genre, where the traditional noir has a dame entering an office of a man on the edge of good and evil in the rain-slick world of the 1900s. A neo-noir has an odd man in an odd situation with a vaguely electric soundtrack. I enjoy the genre quite a bit. Sometimes you get a somber exploration of the human condition, a western with no good ending, a buddy cop story where they aren't buddies or cops, and occasionally even some more high-octane ones. Crescendo of Violence is a neon noir and taking inspiration from various things, and was written by Alan Barr and published by Osprey. A reliable company from a man who is reliable enough to produce games. So what's the catch? Let's start from the top here though. The game is a D10 dice but will take the highest, nothing too dramatic. But instead of having strength or dexterity or skills for that matter, you have paths such as cautious, clever, fast, sneaky, or violent. A sneaky test will be called when you're being sneaky with something, but can cover quite a bit of different situations with that single path. Or you'll be negotiating with the GM to let you use it when you really know you can't. Roll a bunch of D10s, take the highest, beat the target number. Congrats, you now know how to crescendo to violence. But I wouldn't be musing about this game if it wasn't a little bit weird. First, we have reserves, which are rolled during the introduction and allows you to use them for tests, spend it on a second wind to heal, gain momentum, or get into cover faster. Alright, simple enough. Then you have momentum. You get momentum when you roll a 10 and can spend it on taking more actions during combat, saying nuh-uh to the GM, or also healing. This also factors into the spotlight system, which is an extremely loosey-goosey initiative system used for everything. Then you have action tokens, which are a weird idea and I don't know if I hate them or not. Each player has a green, yellow, and red action token they spend for any action. Green actions mean you have a +2, yellow actions are neutral, and red is a -2. But the funny part though, you have to use these for any action you do, and you can only get them back when you used all of them. So if I use my green action to get a bonus, I can't get that back until I use my yellow and my red. The strange idea, and I am interested in it from a design perspective, but now we enter the second half of this video. Crescendo's rather lackluster. Everything else, really. A chunk of the game is dedicated to the lore. It's bad. Terrible, even. The Earth is going to be ecologically ruined by the 2030s. So then the Shadow UN declares super war on everyone in the Shadow War, and oops, America imploded, and then drift tech gets invented along the way, and so whoops, it's now cyberpunk, but uh-oh! The Filipinos created super Bitcoin, but then we also created about 16 other Bitcoins, but everything is also now water-powered jazz, but then everything gets replaced with the word Neo in it. The main setting is New York. Neo fucking York, with Italian mobster families, floating cities that just kind of join New York by floating over it, and synth jazz, because fucking synth jazz took over music and culture. This goddamn setting makes my head hurt reading it. But let's get into some of the more nitty-gritty, as one might say. Combat is a mixed bag, as there is the literal violence path, for God's sakes, and a majority of the time that you do take damage, you're actually burning your momentum or your action tokens. Downtime is a major part of the game, but it's heavily scripted at key points in the game with a lot of ways to earn XP that allows you to build up your character that you need due to the numbers being way inflated in certain aspects. This doesn't help that the game also features a huge thing about the nature of heat and relationships. Cause issues for people and they won't like you all that much. Nothing too extreme, but they boil down to just being another resource that you have to use, and heat is just another currency for the GM to spend alongside their own momentum. This may seem a little bit short and aggressive, but the truth is that this is a bit short on content as well. But the game can be summarized in a few pages, but a lot of those pages feel very cheap. Feels like chunks of this game were ripped out to make room for nothing in particular, but what is there feels lackluster. I'm being harsh, but the premise fell hard for me. It's something that the game banks on heavily, and it doesn't do much with it outside calling itself Neo and crying when I start laughing at the Italian caricatures, the rash jazz, and the Shadow UN, or Greater Chicago. Applying paint thinner to everything and you realize it's a bare-bone game with some interesting ideas, but not in this game. Luckily, it's pretty cheap, right? So you can't help but... oh no, that's a little bit high. My name is NeoNotepad, and this was Crescendo to Violence. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and many thanks to the Omnitech board members for continuing to fund my misadventures. Godspeed, good luck, Neo York, that's the best you could do.
They're talking about you, boy.